The following episode of What's the Buzz is sponsored by Manscaped.com. Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. The following program contains controversial subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. The Mad Dog is in the house. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week. Oh, Pitbull, we got a week ahead of us. Let me tell you something.
Yes, we do.
This is the Mad Dog, joined as I am each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, kid?
So doing good. It's been a long day.
Did you blow anybody up this? I mean, did you? Behave yourself, Alan.
No, I was a quiet day at the house.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
So you didn't bottle rockets in the neighborhood or anything like that? No?
No, thank goodness.
Oh, good. Good. I am joined by a couple of very special guests tonight, and when I tell you, you'll understand why. Alan Taylor is joining me for God, seems like forever, Alan. When was the last time you joined me on the show?
It was about a week or two before my class started.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
And the last time you were here was Shirley was still with us.
That's right. That's right.
Former co-host Shirley passed away some time ago, and Alan was joined. Actually, you and Robert were on the same show that night.
I thought we were. I thought we were.
You sure were. Alan Taylor is a scholar, an academist, and a teacher. Tell everybody where you're at, Alan. Who do you work for?
I work for the United States government in the form of teaching. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. I live in Missouri. I work for a school in the middle of the state, so it's a very small school, but it's a good school, good community.
The school is so small it's in witness protection.
It is, yes, pretty much.
And Robert Whitaker Johnson is I call him my twin brother from another mother, even though he's taller and better looking. He is a citizen of the UK, a British citizen. And he is also a Princess Diana conspiracy theorist, as he is, generally speaking, a conspiracy theorist. That was one of the things that we bonded over. Robert, it's been a long time since I've seen you, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you, Mark.
He's a very quiet man.
Everyone, welcome to the show.
You hear me?
Absolutely. Tonight's the subject is quite controversial. There was a disclaimer at the beginning. Who killed Princess Diana? We are, in fact, we just passed, I believe, the anniversary of her death. Did we not, Amelia?
It was actually her birthday, actually.
Her birthday was just passed. That's okay. So let's tell everybody why we're here. And so many years later, 25 years later now.
Yes.
We're still talking about Diana, Princess of Wales. We talked a lot about this woman while she was alive, and we've not run out of any topical subject matter to speak of. She certainly created a buzz in life, and dare say a bigger buzz in death. Largely because of her manner of passing. So I'm going to start with Robert, since you are the guy that's come furthest for this interview tonight. Let's talk a little bit about how the British people viewed Diana and what kind of light they saw her in. Was she beloved there?
So I just want to start saying by I remember exactly where I was when Diana died, and it came on the news. It was about 7 o'clock at night, and I was living in Bristol in England, and I was living in a flat over there, and I was on my veranda, and it came on the news, and I remember distinctly sitting on the veranda and just crying, really. I couldn't believe it. I was looking up to the stars. I was wondering where she was. And I think I think the majority of the British people had an affinity for Diana. You know, she was this beautiful woman. She always came across as kind and caring, and so on and so forth. Of course, the problem was when her marriage started to break down with Charles. The media followed her about. You know, she lost her world title, and then also, you know, there were all these allegations of extramarital affairs, which the majority were true. But you know, the fact is that you know, Charles was having an extramarital affair all the way through the marriage. In fact, on the night before his wedding, he was with Camilla. You know, and that sort of sticks in the back of my throat that Camilla's going to be Queen Consort now, and it feels like the British public have got a very short memory. So yeah, you know, there was an outpouring of grief.
Robert, you said something very important. Explain to the American people what a consort is, please.
Okay, so a consort is similar to what Prince Philip was to the Queen. So they don't take the title of King or Queen. They prefer consort, which is it's more of a supporting role to the monarch. So what Philip wanted to do was take the title of Prince Consort. So he didn't take the attention away from the Queen, if that makes any sense. He took a back step, and so Queen Consort is a similar thing, and I think Victoria had a consort as well. I think so.
Interesting. Alan, where were you when you heard of the passing of Princess Diana, and what were your initial thoughts?
I was in a little town called Hermitage, Missouri, and I remember my mom crying. She always called Diana the People's Princess, and so she was upset about it. I was 7. I knew I had seen her more or less on TV and tabloids all my life, but I was too young to really register the gravity that she had. But I knew that it really affected my mom. So
it's interesting how when the world latches on to a public figure and takes them in as their own, they almost become family, don't they?
Absolutely.
Kind of a strange thing. Amelia, how about you, kid?
I was actually
you heard of Diana's passing.
I was actually living in Knoxville, Tennessee at the time.
Oh,
with
really?
my children, yes.
I was too, as a matter of fact.
Yes. Yes, and I remember I was actually, at the house waiting for my son to get home, because I had 3 kids at the time, and I all of a sudden the TV, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe it!" I was just in awe, and I just started crying because she was one of our role models, of course, as he was saying, as Robert was saying, because she was just so beautiful and kind to everyone.
It was interesting almost immediately. In fact, just as soon as the death announcement was made, as in these kind of cases, conspiracy rears its ugly head. And often cases, the conspiracy is far more true than we want to admit. Almost instantly, conspiracy theorists were swirling about. She didn't die that way. Somebody killed her. There had to be something else was afloat. There was even, and I'm going to show you a picture tonight. There was even some attempts by people to say it wasn't Diana, it was a lookalike who got killed, and that Diana was making her escape away from Charles, and she had help doing it. Look, anything's possible, but when you've got substantial corroborating evidence that a conspiracy is at float, it behooves everyone to investigate it. So, without further ado, I am going to start our show and tell segment of the show. Yeah, Amelia loves
my
show and
favorite part.
and I'm going to ask Alan and Robert for for the benefit of their voices and explanations and opinions in this video clip. So let's take a look. This is, of course, everyone remembers this iconic picture, and that's how we all remember Diana as the princess that she was. This picture here, Robert, let me ask you about this. The Queen and Charles, of course, both substantially younger, mother and son. This picture here that we're looking at, was this prior to, because I have a feeling it might be, was this prior to the wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that looks so it was taken up in Scotland at Balmoral. Possibly. So they used to spend a lot of time up at Balmoral.
I am joined, not to interrupt you, Robert, I am joined by my friend Jimmy Thunder from Down Under. Jimmy, can you hear me? I know he's here. Can you hear me, Jimmy? Okay, he's working on his microphone. Alan.
Yes.
Your first inclination when you see this photo?
Stage. The reason why I say that, everything's pageantry. Everything is optics. I seldom believe that any image that the public is allowed to see is something that was not choreographed on some level.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a conspiracy mind. You know that, right?
That's probably true.
Exactly. This is
skepticism's healthy.
This is what endeared Diana to the world. It is also what infuriated the royals about Diana, Princess of Wales. She broke every kind of protocol you could think of for the royal family. Certainly, wearing pants, jeans, knickers as we call them here. Very interesting type of attire for a princess to be seen in. I'm just wondering, Robert, how did the monarchy react to Diana being seen in public in those sorts of less than clothed opportunities?
Well, certainly the later photographs you're talking about were after Charles and Diana got married, and in fact the swimsuit shots were certainly after Charles and Diana had separated. So there was a lot of anger from the royal family there. But I think one of the issues was that Diana overshadowed Charles, and he was very jealous of that. For example, when she danced with John Travolta, there was another. There was another one where they were at a theatre in London, and she got up and danced with I think it was the ballet or something like that, and Charles was incandescent that she'd done something like that. But later on she used her stature for charitable reasons. But yeah, I mean, I think when you're looking at the bikini shots and the swimsuit shots, certainly that was very later on in the relationship.
Okay.
It wasn't early on.
Right. Amelia, when you look at a photo like this, you're a woman. What are you thinking?
I think she's dressed beautifully. And that dress, she was just so elegant.
Photo that you're looking at right now, Amelia.
Yes, yeah. I think she's dressed very beautifully, very business-like and very business attire and fit for a princess.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going for that. I was going for the look on their faces.
I think that right there, she's it's like, I think that they're into an argument right there, and they're having to probably.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Jimmy Thunder from down on. Jimmy, are you with me? Jimmy, can you say something so I can hear you, bro? Oh man. So yeah, Jimmy he's here, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, I think I kind of hear him trying to come in. I think that's what it is.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to offer my 2 cents. We saw a couple of pictures. We'll see a few more of Charles and Diana. They don't look happy, is what I'm getting at.
Well, it's not surprising, Angelo, is it?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, actually, to be honest with you. She had to know, Robert, that this guy was a slime ball. Jimmy, are you with me?
Diana knew before they even got married that Charles was being unfaithful. So
yeah, the Daily Mirror has all kinds of crazy stuff, and the sensational tabloids. Queen strips Diana of her HRH. Yeah. Now she has to curtsy. Now, talk to me about this headline, Robert. Did she have to curtsy to her own kids?
No, of course she didn't. This was all. It was all paparazzi, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm assuming, within the royal household there's protocol.
Robert, talk to me about this newspaper, the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
All right. Are they a legitimate newspaper?
Yeah, of course they are, yeah.
Okay. It says the headline, Princess Diana tried to take her own life.
Yeah, she did on about 4 or 5 occasions.
Yeah, we did not hear about this here. Why am I finding out this way?
Well, we all knew about it. It was in the paper. There was 3 or 4 times. She was also bulimic.
Yeah. Here we go again. The Daily Express. The Diana death, another cover-up. Apparently, the royal family is accustomed to covering up these sort of things. Kind of wonder if they're in cahoots with the U.S. government from time to time. All right, now we've heard about this. The driver, Henri Paul, was the driver of Diana's limousine on the night the accident took place. I was intrigued by this. Alan and Robert said, "Die death driver in MI6 stooge."
No.
Okay. Talk to me.
No, not a chance. There's a lot of shall we say witness accounts of what happened that night, and one of them was that the car was being followed by a couple of motorbikes. What they call it is something called lamping. So what they do is they shine really, really bright lights in a dark tunnel, and it blinds the driver. And there's a lot of people that there's a few instances of people coming forward and saying that they saw motorbikes that were shining bright lights into the tunnel, and it probably blinded the driver. It's something called blind lamping. A lot of these special forces use it to blind targets when they're in vehicles. There's a lot of conspiracy, you know, with regards to that, and also that Diana wasn't dead when when she was found, and that she was actually killed in the ambulance.
Interesting. Jimmy, are you here? Talk to me, Jimmy. You got to say some words. I need to know you're here. We're looking at a headline that says Diana's mother called her a whore. This made a lot of news around the world. Robert, Alan, let me go to you on this one. Jimmy, is that you? Alan, it'll be an interesting night. Give me some heads up on this headline, then I'll go to Robert.
The day Diana's mother called her a whore. See, I don't know anything about that part. I have to be honest with you. As far as the part about the driver being an MI6 stooge or a patsy, I know that some of his friends have denied that, and they said if he did have any kind of work with the MI6, it was nominal at best. And of course, you know, once you start talking about a high-profile death, tragedy, or conspiracy, no matter what, you know, if he is an MI6 asset, then they're going to have to worry about who did this guy know and work for the government on behalf. I mean, what was the reason for him being in government work like that?
Let's not psychoanalyze it. Here's the deal, Robert. This made quite a bit of news. Her mother publicly called her a whore. Explain to the world, because you and I both know why she did this, but explain to the world why she did this and what the circumstances were.
Well, I'm not quite sure whether it was to do with Dodi Fayed or she was dating a.
That was exactly right. Go ahead.
Right, okay, but she was dating a Muslim doctor before Dodi. But obviously Dodi was a Muslim, and there's a lot of conspiracy behind the fact that Diana was actually pregnant with Dodi's child when she died.
Yeah.
But what I suppose it's different now, but at the time, I suppose the royal family wouldn't want to see a Muslim heir to the throne, really. But saying that, she's got a Royal Horse Guards heir to the throne, because people think that people think that Harry's James Hewitt's, don't they? So, which is another affair that Diana had. Yeah. There you go.
Evidently, Robert, the whole Muslim thing was a point of contention. The other thing that was a point of contention was a gentleman named Hewitt. It has been acknowledged, both privately and publicly, now, both by Diana and after the fact, after her death, that Hewitt, this gentleman named Hewitt, and I want you to tell everybody who Hewitt was. Hewitt was in fact her lover, and that she was in fact pregnant at least once, we know of, and they have possibly been pregnant with Hewitt's child, although Dodi Fayed's father, Muhammad Al Fayed, says that it was Dodi Fayed's child. So clear this up for us.
Well, you just got to look at. You just got to look at. If anybody ever seen a photograph of James Hewitt and Prince Harry, they both got the same colour hair. The noses are very, very similar. And then you look at William and Harry, and they look completely different. You know, Harry's got his father's baldness and looks like Charles. William's got his father's baldness and looks like Charles, and Harry doesn't really. He looks more like James Hewitt.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, William is a ringer for Charles, man.
Yeah,
He
Harry
looks
isn't,
like his father.
Harry doesn't know.
No, Harry doesn't look like either of them.
This
But
is one of the
it's
reasons why.
interesting if you compare side by sides
Yeah,
with Hewitt and Harry,
yeah, they look the same.
they look the same.
Yeah,
The
I
gentleman
think.
that was just on the line with us, and I wish that God he could get in here. He knows Harry.
Yeah, well, I think that's why Harry's been ostracised so easily from the royal family.
Yeah, yeah. I always want to ask you about that because you know what? There's too much there that doesn't jive. It wasn't just him leaving and giving up. Who in their right mind is going to give up the monarchy, right? And all the money. Jimmy, are you with me? Jimmy Thunder, are you with me? I want my yes. In the chat room, I want my slaw. Yes, you can chat with us. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Well, Andrew, Angelo. William's been indoctrinated into the royal family because he's the heir to the throne. Whereas Harry's not. The chances are Harry will never become king. So and I think Harry's the one that's been angry about his mother's death.
Yeah,
all his life. More than William, really.
Yes, I can see your chat room. Yes, I can see your chat. So you've got something to say? Say it.
I want my slaw.
Yeah, that's the person's name. Yeah, I want my slaw.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, he says, I think Harry doesn't care about the royal family because he's not going to be king and he's already rich.
No,
what do you say to that?
Harry knows who his real father is. That's what the difference is. I think so.
Says Harry and Meghan got like 50 million from Netflix. That's true. We know that to be true. That's absolutely true.
Does it really matter?
Well, that's a very good question, Robert. Does it matter?
No, I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. Alan, what would you say to this? Talk to me from an academic standpoint. Does it matter?
I don't know if it does matter necessarily, only because the British people they're having kind of an open dialogue about the importance or relevancy of monarchy. Of course, That's a minority view, but it's still a view. It's something that's being discussed. So I wonder if, since we seem to be like in a post-shame world where the salaciousness of yesteryear just doesn't quite hit the way that it does now, I wonder if monarchy even has a place. And if these are just royals who, they do this ceremonial thing, they're important to the culture, but does it actually matter in the long run?
Right.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's not
Jimmy Thunder is with us in chat. Jimmy, it's okay if you couldn't get through. You're on chat with us. Thank you for joining me on chat. I'm glad you're here. We're taking a look, Jimmy, at a slideshow. Diana's death was certainly a thing of tabloids. We're looking at literally probably 50 tabloid covers just there. Now we're looking at this vehicle. How anybody survived that is beyond me, but someone actually did survive that.
Yeah, Diana survived it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't Henri Paul or Diana, and neither was it.
A bodyguard, you mean?
Yeah.
Diana did survive it, Angelo. She was still alive when they pulled her out of that wreckage.
Yeah.
Didn't it take 3 hours to get to the hospital?
Yeah, so they got her in the back of an ambulance, and apparently the ambulance stopped somewhere, and there was accounts of the ambulance going like bouncing up and down, like there was a struggle inside the ambulance, not like you would see, when somebody's using a defibrillator.
Yeah.
And some people think that the Secret Service, whoever it was, got in the ambulance and finished Diana off in the ambulance. That's what a lot of people think.
Hey, Robert, we got something interesting here. It's, I Want My Slaw says, I think that the idea of walking away, I'm talking about Harry here, walking away is very different when you're born into this. And you were super famous and a royal as a toddler. He never had a chance to live a normal life. What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. But that's why, Harry joined the military and tried to have a normal life away from the royal family.
Yeah,
and that goes in hand with a lot of his behaviour over the years. Where he was caught in Nazi uniforms and getting drunk and all that sort of stuff, and loads of girlfriends and all that sort of stuff. But I think Harry's always felt as though he wasn't part of the royal family. Well, that's probably because Charles knew that he wasn't that Harry wasn't his, and the royal family knew that Harry wasn't Charles's, so he got treated differently.
I want you to take a look at something. This is very interesting stuff here. You're looking at Dodi Al-Fayed on the bottom left. On the bottom right is Dr. Wagner. He is the coroner who did the coroner's inquest on Diana's body. Interestingly, this photo was taken in an elevator with Dodi Fayed. You can only see one half of it.
Yeah.
They were taken in an elevator.
Yeah.
When she gets off the elevator, interestingly enough, she's wearing different clothing. Okay. Anybody want to take that one?
Yeah, well, they disappeared out of the back of the hotel, didn't they? Because they didn't want to.
Yeah, sure did. Sure the hell did, brother.
Yeah, so whether or not she changed her clothing before she went outside, who knows? But unless of course that elevator image was at a different time and it was doctored for some reason.
I have a gentleman in the chat. I'm not going to put it up on the screen right now, but he says Harry might be royal, but he's as nice and as normal a guy as you can meet. I know because I know him. I happen to know this person that's speaking. I will tell you that I can vouch for his credibility. If he says Harry's a good guy, Harry's a good guy. And I happen to know factually that this person knows Prince Harry.
Yeah, well, the monarchy's following the monarchy's trying to follow the global agenda, isn't it? You can see what William did at the Jubilee celebrations and what he said.
Sure.
So the monarchy have become globalists, or they've always been globalists.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Harry's a normal guy, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He probably doesn't want to get involved with all that sort of stuff.
Robert and Alan, they say that this man, Henri Paul, was a falling down drunk the night that he drove Dodi Al-Fayed and Princess Diana.
No. There's no way Diana's bodyguard and Dodi Fayed or Diana would have got in that car if Henri Paul was drunk. Not a chance. No way. No.
Meaning the paparazzi got wrongfully blamed for her death. Okay, let's talk about that, Robert. You might be onto something here. Did the paparazzi, in your opinion, take an unnecessary hit on the Princess Diana death? Were they responsible? I know we know factually that they were following the car. Depending on who you listen to, they were either behind the car or in front of the car.
Well, this is it, isn't it? So like I say, if you've got paparazzi that are flashing cameras, and then you just happen to see two motorbikes that are using lamping devices, it would be very easy for because of all the flashing that's going on and et cetera, for the people to say, oh, it was just paparazzi. But these are the conspiracy theories that there were two motorbikes, there was paparazzi, there was flashes of cameras, and there was two motorbikes using lamping devices, which blinded the driver. I think there's a decent amount of credence for that, probably.
I have a gentleman here says TMZ says that they were at least 100 feet away from Diana's car.
Yeah, which is why these motorbikes got closer. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And we're to believe that that gentleman in the upper right-hand corner, Henri Paul, who was the longtime driver. Here he is, a better look at him. That he was the longtime driver for the royal family.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way Henri Paul would have been drunk. Not a chance. Not a hope in hell. No way.
Yeah. Again, a scapegoat.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, let's talk about this. I don't know anything about this, Robert, because it did not make news here. Alan, do you know anything about this?
From my understanding, he only made about $31,000, or 31,000 pounds, something along those lines, for his career.
Where did he get $500,000 from?
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that. I've never seen that before. So
really, okay.
Yeah.
What we're looking at, what we're looking at here is driver Henri Paul's mystery $495,000. The inference here, and I read the article, was that Henri Paul was essentially paid. He didn't receive any. Obviously, he didn't receive any of this money, but that his next of kin were guaranteed this money should anything happen to him. He was on, to use their words, on a mission of some sorts. I find it all very suspect. I don't know how much credibility to put in it, but it certainly has the attention of the British government, or at least the MI6 anyway, because they're investigating this claim here. Again, the inference being that there was a boatload of money left for Henri Paul and or his family. This would be one of the last pictures of Diana that we see, because later that night her car would crash. Well, we know that it did crash. Oh, let me talk to you guys about something here. Robert, there was a white Fiat Uno. The car and the driver were never seen or heard from after that night of the crash. Some people have speculated that that car caused all this havoc, and that car was in fact a hit squad out to silence Dodi Fayed and to kill Diana and any illegal or unroyal offspring she might have. What do you say to this?
Well, again, it goes along the lines of if there's a Fiat Uno there, or it's motorbikes or whatever. It sort of goes along with that sort of conspiracy. Whether they were lamping from a Fiat Uno or motorbikes. I heard motorbikes, but
I Want My Slaw says, aren't the drivers monitored, especially when it comes to alcohol consumption? I would have to say absolutely they would be monitored.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Alan.
My uncle drove the presidential limo for President Ronald Reagan, and I can tell you that just assuming that something would be comparable for a royal or anybody who is in that high echelon of society, they take that very seriously. And the people who are vested with that task, they're not going to be people who are prone to drinking or other vices that would make them not able to do the job.
Yeah. This is an interesting, and I've heard this before. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that the Queen didn't like Diana and had her taken out, and Harry was terrified that this might happen to Meghan as well because she doesn't like Meghan either. Robert, this is your ballpark. This is all over you, this one.
Right. Well, look, there was there were times that the Queen was angry with Diana, but there were times also that her and Diana had a good relationship. Let's not forget that Diana was put in place to be seen to be a wife of the future King of England and give heirs to the throne. That's what she was put there for. The marriage was arranged.
Yeah.
Everybody knew about Charles's infidelity. So yeah, probably the Queen was angry with a few things. And yeah, I've heard conspiracies that it was the Queen that did it and she ordered it and all this sort of stuff. But who knows at the end of the day? I don't know, but
well, I have a couple of interesting pictures here. Both of these pictures that we're looking at took place the same night in the same hotel.
Yeah.
We're looking at Dodi Al-Fayed and Diana.
Yeah.
In both photos, they're wearing different clothing.
Yeah, that's because Dodi took his jacket off and put it on Diana as they were going out.
Oh, okay. Got you covered.
That
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so Dodi's took his jacket off. Yeah.
Yeah, because the jacket does look big on her.
Yeah, and he's put it on Diana. So what he's trying to do is cover her up on the way out.
We also see in the bottom photograph driver Henri Paul.
Yeah.
Here he is again. People, when they drink, Robert and Alan, they have a certain look on their face. They get this almost this glazy look, like they're staring like the deer in the headlight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Henri Paul, and I'm looking at the bodyguard in the front seat with him. That man looks as sober as I am right now.
Yeah, the bodyguard's getting light flashed in his eyes. That's what's happening. And if you look at Henri Paul's face, he's probably getting light flashed in his face there. That's what.
Robert, that's exactly what I'm feeling here. Yeah, that's exactly. He doesn't look drunk. He looks pissed off.
Yeah,
to be honest about it.
There's no way on God's earth Henri Paul would have been drunk before he got in that car. Not a chance. Diana and Dodi would have noticed, and so would a bodyguard. There's no way that he would have got in that car drunk. Not a chance.
Yeah.
No way. No.
We're looking at a couple of pictures here, again, taken on the same day. Clearly, the photo of Diana wearing the white vest, she's surrounded by paparazzi. You can see people in the background with cameras. The one that's circled in the red looks like she's getting into the limo that would be her final ride.
Well, yeah, because she's got Dodi's jacket on.
Yeah, she sure does.
And they're coming out of the back of the hotel there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd have been one of the final photographs. Yeah.
This is Diana's mother. I believe her name Spencer or something.
Yeah, Spencer. Yeah.
And that's the car being flatbedded away. It's remarkable to think that somebody actually survived that. Remarkable. It's a pretty amazing stuff. It really, really is. Robert and Alan, you've seen some of this stuff before. Let me go to you, Alan, first. That slideshow is probably one of the longest ones we've had on the show.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do the pictures truly tell a story, or is the story being narrated by those who have an agenda?
It's a good question. And I can see both sides. I do feel like there's enough there to justify conspiracy, or if not conspiracy, just skepticism, general doubt of the narrative. For instance, we know that there were two Mercedes. We know that one was a decoy to distract the paparazzi, and one that she gets into in the back. We know that Dodi's father had said, "Don't go," and Dodi had agreed, according to his father, that they weren't going to leave that night, and yet they do leave. And we've pretty much delineated a lot of motive by the royal family why they would want Diana not in the picture anymore, because she was a dynamo. But at the same time, I think we're here talking, and we're not quite sure what the conclusion is for precisely that reason. It's just covered up enough to be, I think, I don't know, justifiably concluded. I'm not sure. So Robert, I can see both sides, is my point.
Robert, my friend Jimmy says Meghan and Diana couldn't be more opposite. What do you know of Meghan? True statement?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that statement's necessarily true. Okay. Because Diana did like the limelight and being in front of the camera, as does Meghan.
Okay.
Look, people have got. Diana was highly defensive of Harry and William, and Meghan's highly defensive of her family.
Right.
Diana went on television and did an interview with Martin Bashir, and said there's three of us in the relationship. Meghan went on camera and basically accused the royal family of subliminal racism. So there's a lot of similarities between both, really. Look, Diana wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but she was the victim in all of this, and she was, in the end, she had to fight for her own mental well-being, and that's what she did, and she she tried to live a life. But Diana was a victim in this. She was the one that was made the scapegoat in the marriage, to be the mother of the heir of the throne, and married to Charles, who she knew didn't love her. I mean, Charles said he did love her at one
Robert,
point.
Jimmy Thunder wants to know: have you ever met either of them? I've not met them, but I've been about 15 or 20 meters away from them. Where I live, Charles and Diana came to my hometown, and there's a statue called the Mad Hatter's Tea Party in my hometown, and a shopping centre, and Diana and Charles came to open the shopping centre. So I've seen them both together in real life, yeah, but I've not met them personally, no. How did she get with Harry? She was interesting comment here. Meghan was an actress. Not even a B-list actress. She was a D-list actress.
I mean, she met Harry through friends and acquaintances, and they got introduced that way. Yeah.
Okay. Alan, you gotta. Talk about the academic's mind. You could go anywhere you want with this. What do you say? And we're talking 25 years later about a woman who captivated the world and left too soon. And what is the psychological imprint that left by Diana, Princess of Wales? Why are we still talking about this lady all these years?
I think she was the death of an era and the birth of another era. I think that she comes in the 90s, 80s really, but 90s especially. And we have cable news, we have 24-hour discussions. The internet was in its infancy. She was a celebrity in her own right.
Yeah.
And I just feel like she was part of a moment where people had more access to the royal family than they ever had before. They had more access to anybody in power than they had ever.
That's a
before.
very, very good point, Alan. I'm going to piggyback that right to Robert Whitaker Johnson. Robert, Alan brought up something crucial. The world is getting smaller, and we have access now that we never had before. Is the monarchy feeling the pinch? I will tell you, before you answer that, I will tell you that I don't believe in another 20 years the monarchy will be even recognizable as a monarchy. In fact, I think there are people in your country calling for the abolishment of the monarchy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there are. I mean, look, the monarchy is paid through all of our taxes, so a portion of our wages really goes to paying for the monarchy.
Why? They don't do anything. What do they do?
Well, I think William's trying to become more current. I think Charles was trying to become current as well. With environmental issues and that kind of thing. And certainly, if you look at the Jubilee celebrations and the speech that William made, talking about the environment, talking about William's spoken about depopulation. He's pretty much spoken about globalism, and also, when you look at the Jubilee celebrations and some of the things that were right. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not a homophobe or anything like that, right? But during the Jubilee celebrations, and there was carnivals, and there were trans people and all that kind of thing. 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, that would have been completely unacceptable. And to the morals of the monarchy as well, really, because the Queen is the head of the Christian Church. And what I'm trying to say is that the monarchy are trying to become more current by showing that they now accept all of this, you know what I mean? And they accept an interracial relationship within the royal family, and and this kind of thing. So when you say that, do you think that we won't see the monarchy in 20, 30 years' time? I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think that the monarchy is moving with the times. But I certainly think there's some sort of.
Well, Robert, I will say this, and I agree with you. I will say this, though. If the monarchy is to survive for future generations of British citizens, it has no choice. It absolutely must evolve. It has to.
Of course it does, yeah.
If it does not evolve past what it currently is, it's doomed.
Yeah, I just think you see the monarchy. The Queen isn't allowed to get involved politically, so the Queen's the head of state, and all the
politicians have a president like that,
right? And all of the politicians make all of the decisions. But what I can see through William and through Charles, is they're starting to get involved with political decisions and global decisions and that kind of thing, and become global faces for agenda, if that makes any sense. And for evolution. So I think the monarchy never ever got involved politically. But I think looking at it, that's changing. So I think that's how the monarchy is going to survive, personally.
And that's a great point, because I think that with the, not to beat a dead horse, but with COVID, I think Bill Gates's non-government organization and other NGOs over the past couple of years have revealed themselves to be more influential and powerful than even governments, our very own government.
Yeah, boy.
So in a way, it's a backdoor way of manipulating world events by not being necessarily involved with government per se, but certainly moving their influence.
They're definitely becoming more influential.
What my slaw says, I actually did meet Megan years ago, and she did an interview on a local talk show I was a production assistant on. She was courteous, not overly nice, but not rude. He also goes on to say, I've heard people compare the monarchy to the Kardashians. Interesting comparison. Very rich and famous and beloved, but nobody knows why. It's an interesting point they make. You know, they're famous for being famous. Why? I'll give you another perfect example. Paris Hilton. She doesn't act. She doesn't sing. She doesn't dance. She's famous for being famous because she's got money.
I'm just going to disappear for a second. There won't be a minute.
Sure. So the analogy of rich and famous isn't just a saying that go together, apparently, Alan.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I think we would all rather be rich and not famous.
Yeah, exactly. Show me somebody who's rich and not famous.
Yeah.
Show me someone who's,
Unfortunately.
but I will show you several people that are famous and not rich.
Yep, for sure.
But you can't say that about a lot of people. Amelia, you've been very, very quiet this show. Why is your microphone muted? Oh, I have it. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Why? You haven't said a word.
No,
Go ahead.
I think it's just. I think it's a good comparison because, like you said, the Kardashians.
I hardly ever interrupt anybody. By the way.
Yeah, right. I know you're better than that. No, but it's a true analogy. I mean, the Kardashians, yeah, they are rich and famous, but now they're coming out with a lot of different things. And I think that nowadays, I think if Princess Di was still alive, I think she would have a lot of good advice for her children now that they're adults and raising their own families. And now that the world has been changing so much.
Well, one would hope so. I mean, you know,
with everything going on, I just wonder what advice I think anybody, want to give their advice. What advice you think she would give their children?
Well, I want to ask you, Amelia, to put your hat on here. You're the mom, okay? So let me ask you, if you are giving advice to Harry, what do you tell him?
I would just say, to be his true self, and of course, if that's what he believes that he wants to do, to follow his heart, and of course that I understand that the family is family, but if he wants to, his wife is, he's married to his wife now. And of course he has his own family to raise. And I understand that if he needs to go to another town, another country to do that, to stay away from all the negativity, to go ahead and do that. And I understand. And I bless him for that.
Good advice. Robert, a question for you.
Yeah.
There's a question for you. My question is for Robert. Does the monarchy accept interracial relationships? ? I heard Harry left because of racism and the Queen saying her great-grandchildren were too dark.
Well,
we heard that, by the way, here in this country.
Yes, we did.
We heard that here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of discussion on who actually said that, and the I wouldn't have thought it came from the Queen.
Well, just so you know, it's being attributed to the Queen or at Buckingham Palace. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think for 1 minute the Queen would have said something like that.
Well, if somebody in the White House, if Joe Biden says, I don't like gay people, he's going to offend about 40% of my country, and he's going to piss off Alan Taylor. Because Alan is a friend of mine and he's gay. The other thing is, if someone in the White House says something, it is assumed that the White House represents the president. If someone from Buckingham Palace said something and not attribute that commentary to the Queen, well, then perhaps the Queen needs to get a lid on who's speaking on her behalf.
Well, anyway, sorry, Alan. My cousin's gay. I've grown up with gay family, and I love them very much. So I just wanted to get that across to you. The reason that I was mentioning it was that I was just making a differentiation, a differentiation of how the monarchy used to be and what the monarchy is now. Does that make any sense? So that's all I was trying to do. So No, I mean there's a lot of things were said that it was actually Charles that said this.
Yeah.
And that's why Harry's fallen out with his father. Again, it's Chinese whispers, isn't it? One paper will say one thing, another paper will say another. One paper's got a source from one source, and another paper's got a source from another. And I think the truth is somewhere in the middle normally.
Right.
But
the comment here says, I heard that the monarchy is still very strict and that they don't want a drop of non-white blood in the royal bloodline. I've heard that. I have read that. So, Robert, is that true? Is that a true and accurate assessment and statement?
I don't honestly see how it can be, because the royal bloodline is mostly German, isn't it? They're not. It's not even a British royal bloodline. If you know anything about the royals and conspiracy, look, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some traditionalists within the royal family that don't agree with this and don't agree with that, and something was said somewhere.
It's a slippery slope, though, isn't it, Robert? It really is. It really is a slippery slope.
It is, but I mean, don't forget, the Queen's been head of state for a long time, and everything that the Queen said is carefully thought, carefully orchestrated. And I don't think for 1 minute that type of thing would have left the Queen's lips. To be honest, I think it would have been too dangerous for.
You mentioned something, Robert. You mentioned something very important a moment ago. The Queen has been monarch for a very long time. There have been suggestions, this to be true in your country, because I've read them, that some people are suggesting a term limitation on being queen. We know it's a lifetime commitment. We know this because of history.
We might as well get rid of Biden then, mightn't you?
Is a person too old to be queen? I will confess to you that I believe we have a president right now who is way too old to be president.
Right.
Doesn't have a brain left in his fucking head. I love you, Joe.
So if any of you guys have watched the Jubilee celebrations recently, there was a sketch involving Paddington Bear. Now there's a lot of conspiracy to say that the Queen and Prince Charles and all these are swapped out with doppelgangers and this, that, and the other. And actually, it's not. It's not the Queen. It's an actor and all this sort of palaver. Because obviously the Queen's been missing from a few functions recently, that she would normally attended. I.e. Truth in the Colour and that kind of thing. And but if that's the Queen on that sketch with Paddington Bear, she looks as bright and as lucid and as intelligent as she ever was. And the humour was certainly there. Just because, don't forget, the royal family, they've been brought up, they've grown with the best physicians. They've been given the healthiest food, the healthiest nutrients, and all this sort of stuff. There's no reason to say that the Queen's brain isn't as clear and concise as it used to be. I've known a lot of elderly people into the hundreds, and they can, they're as bright as a button. Just because you're president. Just because your president can't string a sentence together doesn't mean that the Queen.
Our president's a fucking drooling idiot.
Sorry.
You know what?
Jimmy Thunder says, believe it or not, the Queen's not racist. Her best friend is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum.
Yeah, I don't think the Queen's racist for 1 second. Look, we all know Biden's been put there so Kamala Harris can get into.
I want my slaw says the Queen seems very sharp for being 120 years old. She's got what, like?
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. There's a point of contention here.
Yeah.
Someone said I remember where I read it too. It's the National Enquirer, so it has to be true. Somebody said that the Queen is 94 years old, not 96 or
I think they said, yeah.
Yeah.
but she's 96 or 97.
Yeah, 96, 97.
96. Someone
Yeah.
says she's 94. What's the real age? Is she 94 or is she 96? Because if she's 94, she looks like shit. But if she's 96, she looks pretty good.
She looks pretty good, you know.
Just
She looks
saying.
pretty good. But, you know, there's all these conspiracies that they're all, sorry about this, guys, we can go down a really deep rabbit hole here. There's all conspiracies that they're all drinking
Oh,
blood.
why not, Robert? We're already there.
They're all drinking blood and they're all, you know, they're all, you know, involved in
man.
ritual sacrifices and all this sort of palaver, you know, who knows? But, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There were rumors that the late Prince Philip was a member of the Panda Club.
Right.
If you guys don't know what the Panda Club is, I'm not going to say it on the air. Go online and Google the Panda Club.
I want that in my search
If I see
history.
the Panda Club trending, I'll know where it came from.
Yeah, well, they're all members of the Order of the Garter, aren't they? You know, and you know, we all know about the Order of the Garter.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been one hell of a show. Man, we went an hour and 10 minutes tonight. Holy shit. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat room. Especially thank you to I Want My Slaw. Thank you to Jimmy Thunder. Thank you to a couple of nameless people in there who came in at my request. Thank you so kindly. Joining us on the show tonight, thank you, Alan Taylor. Tell everybody where they can reach you, how they can get a hold of Alan Taylor.
Don't.
Too late.
Robert Whittaker Johnson. I know you can reach Robert on Facebook, right?
Yeah, of course you can. If you want to link up with your Facebook, Alan, that'd be cool. You know,
Beautiful.
And yourself,
Amelia Pitbull, what's coming up this week?
I'll have a
Yes. Thursday, July 7th, we have a gentleman by the name of Phil Solis. He is a Dean Martin impersonator. And I will mention it again. On July 10th, we have Angelo's birthday, my host, the mostest.
Celebrating that I'm going to be an old fart.
No, you're not an old fart.
And for me, I am the Mad Dog. We got some exciting stuff coming up. I'm not going
Yes, we do.
Not just yet.
No.
Amelia has an idea what I'm going to do.
Yes.
But we are going to revamp a few things.
Yes.
I think you're going to like it. We're going to get even more controversial.
Uh-huh.
More cutting edge. I might even drop an F-bomb or two.
Not you. Surely not.
Not me. I know, right?
No.
And not Angelo. No, never.
Right? You know what, Amelia?
Angelo, this half an hour has become like an hour and 12 minutes, man. I'm going to go and get.
I owe you. I owe you. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I swear.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure to meet
Nice
you
seeing you
guys.
again.
On behalf of Amelia Pitbull Chapman, on behalf of Alan Taylor, on behalf of Robert, holy shit, I was getting ready to say goodbye.
Angelo.
I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care, Red. Get the fuck out of here.